And I'm so sorry, my viewers, for the technical hitch. Allow us to get back to the news updates. President William Ruto and First Lady Rachel Ruto earlier today led the nation in celebrating Mazingira Day by planting trees at State House, Nairobi. They were joined by pupils from the State House Primary School, Environmental Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Barasa, and the senior government official in an event aimed at promoting environmental conservation. The head of state urged Kenyans to take personal responsibility in tree planting and return to their former schools to lead similar initiatives. He said the exercise supports the government's target of growing 15 billion trees by 2032 to combat climate change and restore degrading ecosystem. The cabinet secretaries and the principal secretaries and the head of public institution were directed to plant trees in their alma maters, while schools across the country were encouraged to participate in The Environment CS Barasa called on citizens to extend the campaign beyond Mazingira Day by continuing to plant trees throughout the month of October. And away from that news update, Kenya and Uganda activists on Thursday marched to the Uganda High Commission in Nairobi, petitioning authorities in Kampala to release missing Kenyan human rights defender Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo. The protesters called on the East Africa Community and the African Union and the International Human Rights Organization to intervene, citing an alarming rise of cases of abductions across Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Njagi and Oyo have now been missing for 3 weeks, with reports suggesting they had been detained in Uganda. The activists urge religious government to uphold human rights and ensure the immediate and safe release of the two defenders.
We demand, 1, the immediate and unconditional release of comrades Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo.
Stop abducting Kenyans, stop abducting Africans. Sure. Stop persecuting Africans who stand with progressive struggles like that of Bobi Wine and the people of Uganda.
We expect that the rightful person who has the locus standi in the matter, the president of Uganda, the chief commander, is the one who should say the whereabouts of Nicholas and Bob.
We demand urgent attention from the East African community, African Union, the international human rights bodies to investigate and address this abuse of power. We remind President Yoweri Museveni and his regime, the era of fear is over.
Sure. On an Independence Day like today, why can't you at least show mercy, show at least good codes of governance and release these two people? The Ugandans are crying, the mother is crying, everyone is concerned.
And away from that news update, the junior secondary school JSS teachers across Kenya have threatened fresh nationwide action over the government's failure to implement the 2021-2025 collective bargaining agreement and improve their working condition. The teachers accuse the Teacher Service Commission of neglecting promises to convert intern teachers to permanent and pensionable terms and to address poor infrastructure and low pay. They also demand full autonomy from JSS institution, urging that control under primary school undermines their professionalism. The union leader have urged the government and education stakeholders to intervene, warning that they may review and expose failure in the education system if their grievances are not addressed. The dispute follows weeks of strike and growing frustration among the JSS staff nationwide.
Thank you. This is Kupet Kisumu and this is JSS Kisumu. We have JSS representatives here. We have one information that we want independence and autonomy of the JSS. This is essentially a peaceful demonstration of the Kupet Kisumu moguls. The JSS Kisumu chapter are saying that enough is the war. We want 4 types of autonomy. 1, administrative autonomy. We must divorce ourselves from the HOIs. We must divorce ourselves from the HOIs. Administrative autonomy. We want financial autonomy. The capitation that is coming to the moguls should be used for moguls by the moguls of the moguls and for the students who are being taught by the moguls. So we want financial autonomy. We want staffing autonomy. The staffing of JSS must essentially be from the senior secondary. No more deployment. We must create jobs for the jobless who are outside. We want co-curricular autonomy. The JSS must get positions beyond the organizing secretary. We are saying enough is enough. The HOIs, you cannot take everything. Co-curricular, sports, drama, music, science. The JSS must occupy those positions of chairman, secretary, treasurer, vices, and organizing, not merely organizing secretary. We have said no to organizing of co-curricular, no to organizing co-curricular. JSS are demanding autonomy before December. Otherwise, by January, we are not going to open the moguls schools. We are also collecting signatures here. We are collecting signatures of all the moguls, forwarding it to Parliament, demanding, amongst others, a proper career progression path for the moguls, transfer policy for the moguls. Those are the issues that are bedeviling the moguls of this nation and the moguls of Kisumu chapter. I want to call the chairman, then I call the mogul leadership.
My name is Winnie Akotha War. I am a JSS teacher in Kisumu County, the current JSS treasurer of the whole Kisumu County, and an aspirant for the youth gender position in the coming Kupet election. I would want to tell the government and the Ministry of Education that we, the JSS teacher, are requesting for an autonomy. We are demanding for an autonomy. We are demanding for an autonomy. If we are not given the autonomy before the term ends, we are not going for marking. Remember, we are the pioneers of the JSS, and we are the only people trained to mark the coming JSS, the coming exam for the. Yes, so we are not going to mark. If you don't give us the autonomy, we are not going to mark. Come next year, we are going to hit the roads again. We are going to paralyze learning. We are going to paralyze everything in the JSS. Because you domiciled there, we are domiciled there, we are being frustrated, we are being intimidated. We are not going to allow that. We demand for an autonomy. We want to have leadership from the senior school, or we ourselves.
And away from that news update, supporters of KANU leader Gideon Moi staged protest in Baringo County following his decision not to submit nomination papers to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission for the November senatorial by-election. The unexpected move came just hours after Moi held a closed-door meeting with President William Ruto at State House Nairobi, fueling speculations of a possible reconciliation between the two leaders after years of political tension. Moi's supporters expressed disappointment over the decision, accusing him of abandoning the political party's aspiration in the region and leaving the race open to rival parties ahead of the crucial by-election.
Na kama kuna kitu imefanya Gideon asikuje, tunataka tujue. Kwa sababu tutakaa hapa mpaka kesho.
Mheshimiwa William Ruto ambaye tumekubali ni 2 term. Akishamaliza yake 2032, tutakuwa na Mheshimiwa Gideon Moi atatushikilia baada ya William Ruto.
Najua nyinyi ni watu ya amani, ni mambo tu kidogo imetokea hapa kule, and obvious that is how life it is.
Sisi hatuna uhusiano wowote na KANU. Sisi tuko kama UDA hapa.
And away from that news update, a 71-year-old man has been confirmed dead following day-long clashes between two communities in Isinya, Kajiado County. The violence brought businesses and transport activities to a halt as rival groups fought, leaving behind widespread destruction. Two motorbikes were torched during the chaos, further escalating tension in the area, and police have arrested 7 suspects who are being held in custody as investigations continue. Authorities say they are also pursuing several politicians are believed to have played a role in inciting the unrest and the disrupted normalcy in the normally peaceful metropolitan town.
Hii bodaboda wamekuwa na business rivalry. D hawataki kwenda kwa stage ya C. Wakataka kumiliki hiyo stage zote. Hii makundi mawili wamefukuzana leo asubuhi, wakaleta hali ya taharuki kidogo. Kama watapatikana na hatia yote watapelekwa kotini. Tunawasihi vijana wakati kama huu waendelee na biashara yao ya bodaboda kwa njia ya amani.
Pande zote mbili tourism wakuje pamoja, waache hii mambo ya, kwa sababu hii vita sisi wote tunaishi hapa hii town. Hii town yetu sisi wote. Na tumeishi miaka nenda rudi bila furugu.
Tulikuwa tumesikizana ya kwamba kuna uhalifu ambaye inaendelea huko mashinani. Ya yale makabila ambayo wamekuja kukaa na sisi. Sisi tuliwachukua kama mandugu zetu, lakini tumeona wametugeukiwa.
Bwana DCC lazima akae ndani ya wananchi. Yeye anakaa kwa ofisi, hawezi sikia maneno wa vile wananchi wanasema. Hii mkutano vile unasikia watu walikuwa wamesozana ya mapikipiki, nini maneno ya security, hajawahi zungumzia hata.
And away from that news update, the Ministry of Agriculture has instructed the Tea Board of Kenya to phase out the traditional mouth testing method using a grading tea for export and replace it with a modern scientific testing procedure. The move comes amidst rising complaints from farmers, particularly in the Rift Valley region, who urge the current system is biased against them. They say their tea often receives lower rating, resulting in smaller bonus payment compared to growers from other regions. And according to the ministry, the introduction of the scientific grading will ensure fairness, accuracy, and transparency in the valuation process, while enhancing confidence among both local farmers and international buyers.
Within the next 3 months, the center should be ready so that we test our tea in a scientific way, so that the perception of the problem of tea from the west of Rift and east of Rift, some meeting high quality, some meeting low quality, should be.
A person who takes whiskey at night may be testing samples from factory A, and he may not be getting it right because of the taste of the whiskey that he took last night.
Incomes for this year, the bonus, I want to remind the farmers that they should also remember that they have received monthly payments of 25 shillings in the east, and in some areas in the west, 23 shillings and 24 shillings.
What we're seeing is a culmination of many years of stoppage of DSO, that is direct sales overseas. That was legislated in Parliament. What we're seeing is a culmination of 1 month.
And now allow us to take a short break, and we'll be back with the sports news.